Hi, it's Emily or Emmy Rose 22A coming back to you with episode 4 of the Crafty Accountability Podcast. Today is Saturday, February 16th, 2019, and I'm coming to you from Layton, Utah. It's actually quite sunny today, even though we've had a couple winter storms. It's pretty bright today, so I think I have some good light, and I don't need to have my other light on to shine some glare on my glasses. If you're looking for me online, you can find me on Instagram as EmmyRose22A and on Ravelry as EmmyRose22. I hope you're all having a good week. It's been a little crazy for us. That cold hit me pretty hard, and I was out for most of the week with it. My boyfriend got it as well as my baby. So, and she got it super mildly. We were very, very lucky. Hers was really not that bad at all. So we were blessed with that, but it's kind of been a rough week on the health front. But we've made it through. One thing I'm realizing with this kind of, I guess, journal, if you will, of my crafty endeavors, is that no week is perfect. There's something every week. I have had something come up every single week since I started doing this that has kind of hindered my progress, like hindered me in progressing as much as I wanted to. And that's just life. That's just what's going to be. It's how it's going to be. It's fine. It really is. It just, like I had said, I think last week, that it kind of just helps me to set more healthy and realistic expectations of myself so that I truly know like what I'm up against and what I can and can't accomplish. And it's fine. And that's the kind of like reality I need to kind of keep me sane and, like I said, to keep things like realistic, so that I'm not thinking I can conquer the world in a week and I can't. So for my oil this week, my essential oil, I wanted to talk about doTERRA's Balance Blend. This is the grounding blend. I was feeling a little frazzled today, trying to get everything done. I had the Joanne's for their classes. Their open house was today from 11 to 3. And then this evening, I have tickets to the symphony with my sister. The Utah Symphony is doing My Fair Lady, which I love. So I'm really excited to go see that. But it's kind of a lot. I didn't know if I was going to get my podcast in today. I didn't know, if there would be time to record. I wanted to spend some time with my baby since I was going to be away from her so much today. So I just felt like I needed a little grounding, a little balance, and I think that's a great word for it. It helps to balance your feelings and your emotions, and just to kind of help you, like a tree, spread roots and ground you. I love to use this on my daughter as well. If she's having a fussy day, it really kind of helps to even her out as well. For her, I put it on the bottoms of her feet. For me, I put it on my chest, and that's not what the red spot is. It's an anxiety spot. It's a thing I do. But I like to put it on my chest. That way I can smell it. It's kind of like a perfume that I can breathe it in, and it helps to calm. And like I said, just kind of, zen yourself out. So that's my oil for this week. I realize I've been doing like blends the whole time. I need to get some stray oils in here for you guys to learn about. So let's jump right into it. I don't think I have a ton this week, but I might have more than I thought I had. So for finished objects, the first things I'm going to show you are some hats for the Magic Yarn project. I told you last week that my samples were approved, and I was good to go to get going. So my initial plan was 2 a week in February, but because I kind of missed that first week because I was waiting to hear back to make sure everything was good before I went, I have 8 hats to do, so roughly 3 a week. So I did 3 this week, and there's 3 of these that are exactly the same. That's my beanie, and that's just according to their beanie pattern that's on their website, themagicyarnproject.com. And for me to get the height that they need, it's 20 rows of half double crochet and then 1 row of single crochet at the end. So for the Mickey Mouse hat, I did 15 rows of the black and then 5 rows of the red and then the 1 row of single crochet in the red. So that's how I kind of got my proportions. And then there's these cute little buttons that go on Mickey's little, I guess pants is what that would be technically, his little pants buttons. And then I also have 2 ears. Can't have Mickey without ears, right? And these, per their recommendation, they provided the pattern, the link to a blog post that has a pattern for ears, and they recommend you do them double, hold the yarn double, so they're stiffer. And if you notice, like, these don't flop at all. So I think these will be really good, nice big Mickey Mouse ears. And they will be assembling these at their event in March. So I just had to make the pieces. One thing I did kind of want to share with you / talk about is whenever you're changing colors in the round like this, you always have some kind of a jog. They recommend to do the beanie in continuous rounds so you don't see the seam, the defined seam up the back. But where you switch, this is one, I did it 2 different ways. And there's this one and this one. And we decided that the one with just the black kind of looked a little less obvious than the one where the red kind of jumped up. On camera it looks the other way around, but but there's always going to be something that kind of delineates there, but that'll just be the back. When they put it together, they'll put that in the back. It's not like it's the hugest eyesore ever, and if you're back here you don't even see it. So but I do have 3 of these ready to go and become Mickey Mouse hats. I signed up for 4 of the Mickey Mouse hats, so I will be working on my other one shortly. I have a little bit to show you for works in progress for this week, but so I have the 3 of my 8 are finished, so I'm pretty excited about that. My other finished object for the week is, and it's not fully finished because I'm silly, but oops, I put a bag on top of it. It is my Baby Branches sweater. I don't have buttons on it. I totally forgot that it needs 3 buttons. They go like right, just 1, 2, 3, just like boom right there. So I do need to get buttons for it, but it's all seamed, and I wet blocked it. So like the front's gonna curl. It's just stockinette, and so it's designed not to be finished, so it just has that little curled in finish or edging. But I'm all seamed up. My shoulders look, I think, super nice. I was really pleased with how they came out. There, you can see they just kind of go straight across there, and then they have this nice edging on the front and the back. But my seaming worked out really well. They look really nice. Then I had to seam up the sleeve and down the side. And again, like, I can totally tell where the seam is, but it looks nice and smooth. And I mean, you have your increases and decreases right there on the either side too, so those kind of leave like that track type thing. And it does have the hood with it's got an I-cord edging on the hood, so it's nice and finished. And then there's the tree on the back with the cute little pleats right there by it. So I'm hoping when we go to my mom's tomorrow I can look for some buttons, and if not, I'll go buy some buttons. I just need 3 little tiny buttons to try to get it finished, and hopefully I'll get some pictures. I did get a couple pictures before I blocked it. I tried it on Tabitha to make sure it fit, and I didn't need to like stretch out the sleeves or lengthen them or anything like that, because she does have kind of long arms. And it fit great. So I at least have those pictures. I'll insert those if nothing else, and if we get some new ones with the buttons and everything on it, then I'll put those in. So I'm really thrilled that I got that finished and seamed up, and it took probably a little more time than I thought it would, but I'm super glad to have it done, and now she can wear it, and it's so cute, and I love it, and she looks adorable in it, and she likes it, so I'm thrilled with that. I'm really glad I got it done and that I could check it off my list. And I was kind of having a blah week because I didn't feel the greatest, and so I really all I wanted to do was make those crochet beanies, the Magic Yarn Project ones, because they're so simple and Especially now that I've done those 3 of them. They're fairly brainless for me right now, and just, you know, it's me being crafty and productive. But I just didn't feel like that was the best use of my time. I had other things that I wanted to do. I had the 3 done for the week that I wanted to get done for this week, and while it's not a bad thing necessarily to get ahead on next week's, it wasn't necessary, and it wasn't what I wanted to get done this week. So I'm glad that I focused and got done what I wanted to get done. So on to works in progress for my yarniness. As I said, oh, it's right here in front of my face. I started another beanie for the Magic Yarn project, and I have the ears done. I don't think my ends are sewn in, but I believe I have I know I have my buttons. I did all the buttons together so that because they were just the white, and I wanted to put the white away. White. I said that very W-H-E. Sorry. So I did all the buttons at the same time, and my ears are made, but the ends are not sewn in. Oh, and I didn't tell you what colors I'm using or what yarn I'm using for these. Okay, so these are Caron Simply Soft. That's one of the yarns they recommend, so that's the one I went with, so that all my sheens are the same and everything, so I just bought the yarn that goes with those. They are black. The buttons are white. Very creative. And then the red is Harvest Red. And out of one skein of the black, I was able to get the 3 beanies that are done and 4 sets of ears. So that's why I got my other set of ears done, because I was just using up most of the rest of the yarn that was left. I do have a tiny bit left that I think I'll use on to start one of the beanies. That's all that's left after I did my 3 hats and my 4 ears. So I'm pretty happy with that. I might hold this as 1 strand for 1 ear. I need to weigh it and see how much it is. I have been keeping track of, like, the ears. The pair of ears are 18 grams. The hats are 50 grams, so they're roughly 30. It's like 33 of the black and 18-ish of the red. Just kind of so I can keep track of when I've got when I'm down to partial skeins, how many more I can get, or if I need to, or when I need to buy yarn to make more. I know how much yarn to buy, and I don't overbuy or underbuy. I really like being able to weigh this. Does this weigh 18 grams? Can I get another pair of ears out of this? Which I'm pretty sure I can't, but does it equal 9 grams? Because I'm holding the yarn double, so can I get at least 1 ear out of it, or something like that? So, which 9 grams would be 1 ear held double, Emily. But even if there's 5 grams here, that could be 1 strand of 1 ear. So I like to maximize my yarn. So that's what I've got started. My last Mickey Mouse beanie, and then there's the Minnie Mouse beanie. Sorry, I dropped my little notions pouch. And Minnie, the beanie is, oh jeebus, I was just unraveling my hat because I dropped it on the ground. The beanie will be the same. It'll be black with the pink at the bottom. I think it's called Strawberry is the pink I'm using. And then she's got little white polka dots that I need to figure out. And I think they're only the button is 2 rounds. I think the polka dots are just 1 round, but there's 10 of them. So those are kind of and they're only a pain because then you have 10 buttons. You have 20 ends to weave in on them. So it's just kind of a fiddly start-stop kind of thing. Not that it's difficult. And then I've got the bow. And again, they've provided patterns for all of that. So this week it'll be the last Mickey and then the 2 minis. And then next week's will be my PJ Masks hats. The PJ Masks Catboy hats will be next week's. And the beanie for those is just the straight blue, so that'll be fairly quick and simple. It's all the accessories. He's got a bunch of eyepieces and some stripes and stuff that go on him. So, and ears, cat ears. Duh, he's Catboy. So, anywho, I'm getting ahead of myself. My next work in progress. Oh, I'll show you this one. It's a knitting one. The only knitting I've done this week, and it was today. As I mentioned, today was the classes open house at Joanne. Classes are half off through Monday. So I needed something to work on while I was at the store. I pretty much sit at the front of the store, greet people. If they want to stop and talk, I will tell them that classes are half price and talk to them about my knitting, but I need something to be working on. So I started another, I told you that I wanted to do this, another one of those knit in the round hats. And this is out of the scraps from my block of the month blocks. So this is Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick this is Cilantro, this is Gray Marble, and you can kind of see every other row I've done the Coney Island. I didn't have enough of the Coney Island to do the color and the decreases in all of that, so I decided to do every other row, and I think it came out I really like the way the colors are playing, and it looks nice with the gray. To me it looks very intentional, not like kind of slapdashed or anything. I think it looks intentional. If you remember, when I made the last hat, I had troubles with the sizing, so I went up a needle size and whatnot, and I tried this on when I got home from the store, and it is still a little bit, it's snugger than I would prefer. So I think for the next one I do, I am just going to add, I think I'm just going to add 4 stitches. I'd want to keep it in multiples of 4 because this is 2x2 ribs, so you need to be able to add 2 knit 2 purls, so I want to keep it in multiples of 4. And it's just a little bit too snug for me. So I think I'm just going to add 4 stitches, and that should make it a perfect size hat for me. It almost fits me well, but just not quite. It's just that little bit snugger than I truly prefer. So I'll have to take it and see if somebody in my family can wear it. If not, this will be a nice donation hat. I made it while I was there working, and the yarn was leftover yarn, so I feel good about donating. It's a great hat if you have a little bit smaller head than me, and it's got the wool and the nylon in it, so I mean it's got to be super warm and the double thickness because it's the color work is double thick, so it's got to be a really warm hat, and I think it's really cute. I would totally rock this hat if it fit on my head properly. So I'm still looking forward to making one that will fit on my head properly. So plus I'm pretty pleased. I was there about 4 hours. There were a lot of interruptions and distractions and things like that, and I almost got a hat made, so that makes me feel pretty good about these hats and how quickly I can potentially work one up. So that's my next work in progress. That should be done easily by next week. I need to measure it, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the decreases. So, and that's right about when I was out of time today, so I just kind of called it because I didn't have my tape measure with me. So we'll see where I get on that one for next week. My last work in progress for my yarniness is my Velvet Valentine Crochet Bear by Sarah Zimmerman of Repeat Crafter Me. And this is out of Bernat velvet yarn in Burgundy, Plum, and Blush Pink. And I have, last time I believe I had the body done. If not, I have a body. I haven't stuffed it yet. I found my stuffing that I wanted to use for this, so I need to get stuffing it, but it's also easier to keep the pieces store a little better when they're not stuffed, and since I didn't have anything to attach this to, I didn't really need to stuff it quite yet, so I hadn't. But I have a body, and I have most of a head. You finish it to this point, you're supposed to attach I think they call it a snout, muzzle, something. He goes on there, but I need a nose for this, and then you put the eyes on, and then you finish the rest of the head. There's 2 more rounds for this, so I needed the safety eyes and nose, and I was having a little bit of trouble finding them. I found the eyes at Joann today, but both Joann and Hobby Lobby only have the big noses. They're 21mm noses, and Hobby Lobby carries a 15mm nose that they didn't have in stock, and Joann supposedly has they have a spot for an 18mm nose, but they didn't have that in stock either, so I bought the 21mm nose from Joann, and I'm gonna have to see how it fits on there. It really seems like I would want this bear's not going to be huge. I mean, if you look at how big his head and body are, I mean, he's not that big. He doesn't seem like he needs a huge nose. And with 9mm eyes, I don't know. Just seems like too much. Too much. But he's got a head and a body. As soon as I get the head stuffed and assembled, I'm going to attach it to the neck so that this portion will be done. So that'll definitely be, well, that'll definitely be done next week. This is for her birthday, which is next Sunday. So I need to have the whole thing done next week. So this is going to be, as soon as I get that nose situation figured out, this is going to have to be my first priority for the week. Even above my charity hats, because if I had to, I could crank out all 5 of those next week, like with little problem. But I need this to be done for her birthday for next week, so that will be getting most of my attention. I really haven't touched any of my other projects. I hadn't knit at all this week until today, working on that hat, and I think I kind of rocked that hat a little bit. I was pretty pleased with how far I got on that. Yeah, it's been a very crochet-y week. I guess when I wasn't feeling good, I didn't have a whole lot of brain space, so I was mostly going for easy projects. I worked on the bear yesterday. Yeah, just yesterday was when I worked on the bear, and that's because I actually had the brain space to work on that with that fuzzy yarn. I've told you I have to pay attention to the stitches and stuff, so that's fine. Sewing's been a little lax this week as well. I'm bringing back the car seat poncho because I had to make a modification. If you watched last week, I had pictures of Tabitha in her car seat in it, but I didn't have pictures of just Tabitha in it because she was very unhappy that she did not have anywhere for her arms to go. So I have put, you can't see, there they are. I put armholes in it for her. So I will have to get some pictures of her in it with her armholes in it. But the pictures I had when I put it on her last week, she was sticking her arm up out the top. Because she wanted her hands to be free. So I'll have to put it back on her, and so she can have her arms out and be happy with it. But yeah, she was very unhappy with her not being able to have her arms accessible. So now that we've got that figured out, and the other thing I've learned is I've got to put it on her and then put her in the car seat. It really doesn't work super well if I try to put it on her after she's already in the car seat. She kind of gets upset, and she's mostly already settled by the time she's in there, so and that's fine. That's just a methodology thing. But yeah, that was a little modification, and all I did was I measured down from, I kind of figured out where I wanted them. I just looked at pictures online. I laid it on the cutting mat with the points of the hood, like where they finish right here, on 2 points of the measurements, and then I angled the ruler, very unscientific, a slope of 2 to 1, so it was like this-ish, so it's 2 squares up and over 1 was the angle to this point right here. And then I measured down, and I measured down 4 inches and I cut 4 inches, and I did the same on the other side, so they should be symmetric. And then I just zigzagged around it to kind of finish it off and to put the layers together, because otherwise she could get her hands in between the layers and that would have just bothered me. So so hopefully this will be in full rotation this week now that she's got armholes and she can be happy with it. So it's kind of a refinished object. I didn't make any progress on my quilt binding. I really just wasn't in the mind space for little hand sewing. However, last Sunday when we were at my mom's, I started another sewing project that I've been wanting to do. It kind of came in conjunction with her car seat poncho, and it is I'm not going to hold the whole thing up, but it's a fleece blanket out of that same, I'll call it Noah's Ark fabric because that's what I believe it to be. We've discussed this. And then it's purple on the back, just a purple blizzard fleece on the back. And then I am going to stitch binding on it, and I have this, sorry, it's kind of, there we go, it's unwound, this rainbow satin blanket binding that I'm going to bind it with. And I just machine bind my fleece blankets. I sew it onto the back and then flip it over to the front and top stitch it. And I'm aware that this type of binding is intended to be like open and then you just seal it on the edges, but I don't know. I don't love that. It's not how I bind. So I am doing it more like a traditional binding where you sew it, so this is like a double fold binding is how I'm doing it. So hopefully next week I will have that to show you with its bound glory. And this is, how big was the purple was a remnant that I got from Joann's, and it was like 1.4 yards, so not quite 1.5 yards, and that's just the width. I held it up to because I still had several yards of this left, so I just held up the purple to that, and that's where I cut it off and evened it all up and pinned it together. And so I still have another like 1.5 yards or so of that Noah's Ark fabric left, and I have, sorry, I'm just looking up at my bins. I have a dark blue remnant up there, so I might just put it with that and do figure out a binding to go around it so that it could be a cute little boy's blanket, and that would just get rid of that. I have the blue remnant, and then I have a pair of remnants that go together to be another blanket, and then I have 2 other remnants that need partners to become blankets, and that's like 2 of my 12-inch cubbies are fleece for blankets, so I kind of need to do that. But also on the floor in here somewhere is a big tote bag that has, I think, 4 enough fleece. There's 2 blankets that are paired, and I might have even done the binding. I've told you my boyfriend likes the textures, so I really like to do satin binding on my fleece blankets. He is not a fan of the tie blankets. He does not like the knots. He does not like the fringe. He's not a fan of that. So I tend to do the satin binding, and my dad agreed with him that he really likes the satin binding, so that's the way I do my fleece blankets. Plus I feel like it kind of adds a little more for me being a sewist, someone who, and who is capable and enjoys sewing. To actually bind the blankets makes them a little more, in my opinion, blankety. There's nothing wrong with tie blankets. I have a tie blanket. My niece made one for my baby, and I love it, and I love that my niece made it for my baby. So I would never say anything's wrong with those. It's just, for me personally, I kind of like the finish that a binding edge gives. So hopefully, if that blanket doesn't get finished tomorrow at my mom's, then it might not get finished this week. So you may hear about that again next week. We'll have to see, because I don't think next Sunday, because that's Tabitha's birthday, I'll get much sewing done or anything done. Because we have to have a birthday. Well, don't have to have. We are having a birthday party for her. It's not like I was forced to. I want to. So that's what's up on my sewing front. I'd like to make more progress on that quilt this week. We'll have to see. I need to get that bear done, and I'd really like to get those charity hats done. Those are going to kind of be my main focus for my handwork time. Beyond that, I'm hoping to put a little progress onto that quilt. My other projects would be my paper crafting projects. We have made progress on getting our pictures printed. We've decided we're going to use Amazon Prime Photos, but to do that, we're trying to upload our photos to the Amazon Prime Photo app, which takes a while, and we got mine uploaded. We need to get Rob's uploaded, and I'm really hoping they'll merge together because we're using the same Amazon account, and I'll just be able to print from both of them together, which will make it a lot easier, because otherwise I need to log into my phone and figure out how to print my pictures from my phone, and then log into his phone and figure out how to print his pictures from his phone. So once again, this is kind of a lot of that upfront work that you have to do, and then once you do, it'll be like everything else will just fall into place and be quick and easy. So we've started that. Like I said, my photos are uploaded. Hopefully this weekend we're going to get his uploaded, and then we'll be peachy. And then with my thank you cards, I didn't touch them this week. I wasn't feeling great, so I didn't make them a priority is what happened. So I guess at least in my mind, I should be making them a pretty good priority for next week, because I would really like to get them in the mail before her birthday, which is next Sunday. So I'll have to kind of move that up on my priority for the week. So I guess it'll be her bear and my thank you cards. Those are going to be my focus for the week. And then you can quit hearing about the dang thank you cards, except for then I'll have thank you cards for her birthday, but there will be far less of those. And I'm just going to do them like promptly and quickly. And people might be like, oh, look, I got the exact same card that I got for her other one. And that's fine. They'll know that I chose from the same pool. It'll be fine. So that's those. Oh, I was going to show you. I got a few things this week. Oh, sorry, they're over here. I put them behind me, which was, when I was turned that way, it seemed smart. But I was just going to show you, it looks like the eyes and stuff I got from Joann's. They're Fab Lab. So I just got some 9mm eyes, safety eyes. There are 8 eyes in here. Joann's are pricier than Hobby Lobby's, that's for sure, because these were $2.49 and I think they were $1.99 for the eyes at Hobby Lobby, and you got more. But they didn't even have any 9mm eyes. So, yeah, I used a 40% off coupon on these, so they weren't $2.49. And then here are the noses I got. But I mean, if you saw how small that bear is, that nose just looks huge to me, and there's only 4 in here. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I need to pull one of these out and stick it in this now and see if it looks funny or if it works, I guess is what I need to do. And then the other things I got at Hobby Lobby when I was there, and these are open coil ring markers. They're Yarnology. That's Hobby Lobby's brand. And these were, what, $2.59 for 20, which was a better price than the Clover ones. And these ones are a smooth plastic. These are bigger than the Clover ones, so if you need small ones, then the Clover ones, I believe, are like this size and a size smaller, and this is this size and a size bigger. So I guess it kind of depends on what you need, but I like this size. And I think I only have one out of my set of Clover ones because I've lost all the others. And I don't think it was an even like half and half. I think I only got like 5 of the big ones and like 15 of the small ones. But these ones are a smoother plastic than the Clover ones. This doesn't catch like the Clover, my Clover one does. So I use this for marking my place. If you noticed on my Mickey Mouse beanie, it's where I mark my beginning around. And I'm using them on my bear for the exact same thing. This just slides like right through your crochet stitches so easy, and it pops right out and goes right back in. So you don't have to like open and close something like you would with a safety pin. Because that's what I use otherwise, is a safety pin. But then you have to open it, take it out, put it back in, close it back up again. And this you just slide in, pop out, slide in, pop out. So I do much prefer those. So I got a set of those. And then speaking of safety pins, I got a set of bubble pins. Some people call them light bulb pins. You can see them better in the back. But they're bulb shaped safety pins. Super handy for marking your spots in knitting and stuff like that. That's what I like them best for. And this was $5.99. I used my 40% off coupon, so it was like $3.59. And there are 175 in here, and it comes in this little case with the little flippy doors. So, and they're rainbows. So I got those because I thought they can't seriously be lost. Like, where could they go? But I think I must put them in with projects or something, and they're probably put away. They're probably in one of these millions of totes or tote bags that are in here. One thing I did do, I went through my patterns and kind of the patterns that I could find that were in the one cubby, and I kind of figured out what they had going on. I got them all into one case, and I decided I wanted to put it on top of my cubicle wall. But I had 2 tote bags up there with projects in them. I had assumed they were projects in them, so I pulled the 2 tote bags down to see what was in them. And one of them is an applique project for a quilt that I would really, really like to finish. So, and the other one was one of the first knitting project I did was a scarf from a Lion brand Learn to Knit kit. And I've donated it, so it's long gone. But the next project I started to work on was a pair of leg warmers for my niece, who was in high school, who is, I want to say 25 now. So it's been a hot minute. I think I've been knitting a little longer than I kind of thought I had. But they're lime green leg warmers. that she probably would have thought were super cool like 8 years ago, but isn't quite her speed right now. So I am going to frog those. I'm only halfway through one of them, so it's not like all this work went into it. Now I'm taking them apart. So I'm going to frog those, do something different with the yarn. And it actually might go into a blanket for her son, which I think is awesome, kind of poetic justice type thing. And free up that tote bag. That's a really cute tote bag that has my name embroidered on it that my aunt gave me. So it hasn't been in use for however long because it's had those leg warmers in it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I need to go through my craft room. I know this is an issue. But I'm working on it. That's what we're doing here, right? We're keeping me like up and current and actually finishing things. Like my silly sweater that needed to be seamed for how long? I mean, this is my 4th episode. That means there's been 3 weeks between when we first saw each other. And I think it needed to be seamed at that point. So, yeah, 3 weeks is a long time to seam a baby sweater. But that's okay. I'm making progress. I'm keeping myself accountable for the things I want to get done, and I'm getting them done. So, mission accomplished. I will totally take it. And hopefully you guys are enjoying watching my little victories, my little defeats, my realizations. I really want to come in here one of these days and just be like a freaking rock star and be like, hey, I did all the things this week, but we'll see. Like I said, I've had 3 weeks in between episodes, and something has come up every week that has kind of kept me from that, and it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm making progress. I'm at least moving forward. Maybe a lot more slowly than I was hoping for, but I am moving forward. I'm feeling tons better. I hope I sound much better. So here's to another like super great and productive week this next week. At least I'll have a freaking super soft, squishy, awesome teddy bear for my daughter next week to show you. I'm so excited for that. I'm excited for her to have it. She loves bears. So I'm hoping she's going to be really excited. Well, she's 1, so how excited is she going to be? But I'm super excited to give it to her. So that will definitely be getting done. So I think that's all I have for this week. Here's to a great week for you and for me. And until next week, have a rosy ray day. Bye.